Okay, I think I am live, but I'm not 100%. And okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm live. Okay, so it's hey, there's ChickNGuitars. How are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, just dry heat. Everybody's calling in now. Gary Tholander, welcome, folks. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I'm doing this a little differently today. Hey, David Ozab, welcome. The gig was last night, David. Um, yeah, Flat Frets, how are you? Hey, hey, back to you soon. Layla's Guitar Daddy, welcome. You guys are awesome, man. Thanks for popping in. Brad Miller, how's it going, buddy? Um, yeah, I'm doing this a little bit differently today. I'm actually doing this on my laptop just to avoid Streamlabs because, as you all know, I hate Streamlabs. So this is better. I'm using the Google Hangouts. So now that it's warmer out, it's nice out. I can actually bring out the laptop and the camera. It's a little bit of a pain, but at least I can, you know, I'm not. You don't see a big thumb on the screen and all that kind of shit. So this is much better. Okay, so yeah, let me just go down and welcome everyone. There's Will Varela, David Ozab, Flat Frets, Brad Miller, Layla's Guitar Daddy, Gary Tholander, Dry Heat, Chicken Guitars. Welcome everybody. Hey, there's Lars Guitar. How are you? We got 14 people in here already. Hey, Todd Flowers. I was sitting there at the arrow. I don't know what that means. Flat Frets. Oh, God. When do you go back to being showman? Metal Hit Hippie. Greg Summers, welcome. Lars Guitar, how's it going? 15 of you in here. I'm doing all right, man. I'm a little wiped out. So usually I do these the day after a show. So I played a gig last night, and I always have stories because no gig goes played without some kind of story. Actually, let me ask you this, folks, before I get into that. Can everybody hear me okay? I know you can see me okay because I can see my own mug. Sorry about that. I apologize, but it's the only one I got. But can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Here's Chris Link. Welcome. Bobby Lopez. Todd Flowers says yes. You bought another. Okay, we got to talk about that. Showman Flat Frets about that Gibson. We got to talk about that. Bobby Lopez says yes. Okay, so you can hear me okay. Cool. Gary Holt says it's a little choppy. All right. My wireless out here is not the best, so you're going to have to bear with me, folks. Move closer to Wi Fi. I can't. This is as close as I can get to the Wi Fi. Hey, all right. Say hello. Yeah, if it's choppy, I can't do anything else. I can't do anything about the Wi-Fi, folks. I apologize. Could be me. All right, so yeah, so we got 17 of you in here now. So yeah, we did a show yesterday, and the place that we played, they just did a bunch of renovations, and what they did was they actually relocated the stage, which was a blessing because the stage in the corner where they had it set up, and it was a nice stage. It was actually really big. I could have actually taken the Firebird last night, but oh well, because I had the room for it. So the stage was big, but as part of the renovation, what they also did was that they put in, they have their own PA, right? So we get there and there's this big rack mount unit, very elaborate. You can tell a lot of money was spent. A rack mount unit, and then beside the rack mount unit, they had the board with the sliders and all that, the mixer board. So of course, we're trying to figure out how it works. I stay away from it because there's two other guys in the band that are a lot more versed in that. You don't want a bunch of, chefs in the kitchen, so to speak. But they were trying to figure out how the board worked and how the PA worked. The monitors immediately came on and sounded great. So we had tons and tons of monitor. We had two big wedges on the stage, which is cool. But we could not get the PA speakers. There was two PA speakers flanking the stage. We could not get them up and sounding good. So this is like a half an hour before we're supposed to start. They actually called tech support. So the owner of the bar, of course, there's two guys there, the owners. Neither of them knew how to use the thing. I mean, they just bought it, put it there, and they didn't know how to use it. So two guys in the band trying to figure out how to use it. So the one guy's there with tech support on the phone, literally moving sliders and hitting buttons and going from the mixer board to the rack to the mixer board to the rack, try to get this thing working. So that was. Meanwhile, we carry our own PA, and we had our own PA there. But we're like, you know, why would we bring it in? Why don't we use this one? So at the end of the day, we almost went back and just got our own PA because, of course, we know how to work that. But eventually, we got somewhat of a sound. I don't know how good it sounded out there, but people weren't complaining, so they did manage to get uh, the speakers going, and it was a treat to have a monitor because I never get monitors, right? So that was a treat. Not that I do a lot of singing. I did do one lead last night. Yeah, but they did have some monitors on stage. So that was kind of cool. So that's sort of the way the night started. We got 20 people in here now. Let me go back and say hello to some of the people I missed earlier. Gary Holt, how's it going? Um, Josco Plumbing Supply, welcome. Wizard Wand Music, how are you? Joe Hervey, nice to see you. Brian Landreth, thank you all for popping in. Got 21 in here now. Um, yeah, so that's how it started. We were supposed to have a nice full house. We had at best a third. So, but we had a nice couple of tables of our friends. So, it was kind of nice to hear applause after every song. That's always cool. Um, but yeah, there wasn't a hell of a lot of people, and anyone that went up to dance were friends of ours, type of thing. So, you know, it was one of those nights, but it was okay because our first gig in 3 weeks, and we hadn't gotten together in 3 weeks. So, ChickNGuitars has a question: how do you and the band monitor your sound when there isn't an in-house PA? Well, ChickNGuitars, 9 times out of 10, the stages we play are so small that there's no room to put a monitor down. So what we'll do is we'll take our front speakers and we'll put them like right beside us, so you can kind of hear yourself. I know it's a cheesy way of doing it, but you can kind of hear yourself. Or if we can put the PA speakers behind the band so they're throwing forward, you can hear your voice coming from behind you, right? When we have the option, because we do have powered monitors, we'll throw those in front as a wedge. But 9 times out of 10, these stages are so small. Here's the one thing again that kind of kills me, right? So just to sort of illustrate the point, ChickNGuitars. So that place we played last night did a big renovation. They moved the stage. They built this nice big stage. They've got lights. They got, like I was saying earlier, the PA, whatever. And what did they install for power? They have one receptacle on stage. So the whole band's playing off of one receptacle. So yeah, you know what I mean? It's always like an afterthought. It's always an afterthought. So a lot of these places that make stages, they'll make a stage so small that you can basically fit a drum set and everybody else is standing in front. And then if you were to put a monitor, it'd be in the middle of the dance floor. So that's usually what we run into. Hey, Dwight Bailey, and there's Queen Bee. Yeah, Wizard Wand, we did Sweet Caroline, and everybody sang along. that song, you know what? It works. It always works. David Ozab, when you run your own PA, the singer has a monitor. Yeah. Yeah, usually that's where we would plan it. Turkey Trail Honeybee from Georgia. Sup? How are you doing, Turkey Trail? One outlet. Okay, I don't know what Joe Harvey. I don't know what you're talking about there, buddy. Charles Green, welcome. Got 24 of you in here. Yeah, so folks, if anybody's got questions, just tag me at Guitar Hack. Yeah. So yeah, so we're all playing out of one outlet, which is typical. I mean, that they never think of the bands, right? Um, yeah, so by you know, like we did 3 sets. We started at 9:30, so we played like an hour, 10:30, 11 break, then we play an hour, then midnight to 12:30 a break. But so of course at 12:30, everyone, our friends and everything, they took off, and what was left behind was the regulars. So you had a few stragglers. I'd say maybe 10 or 12 people there. A lot of them had too much to drink. You know, now, and this always annoys me a little bit. You become their personal jukebox. You'll have a guy sit in front of you with his arms crossed and say, "Play this." No, play this. You know any of this? Can you play this? And then they want to get up on the mic and all that kind of shit, right? So that's sort of the end of the night. I want to get the hell out of here time. You know, where yeah, I'm not your personal jukebox. There is no place to insert your quarter. This is what we're gonna play, and that's it. And we just want to go home at this point. So yeah, that the last set is always a sorry about the planes, folks, but the last set is always a major drag. Like when people leave. I mean, when up until that point, people were up and they were getting clapping and stuff and enjoying the band. So that gives you sort of the drive, the incentive to yeah, yeah, that kind of gives you the drive and the incentive to go. But when you're down to like you know stragglers that are you know asking you to play certain songs and stuff, and then the one guy when we were done, there was one guy like you got to do an encore. You got to. Meanwhile, the owner's standing right next to him, and they've already put the house music on, and he's like, "Come on, man, you got to do an encore." It's like the owner's right next to you, man. You just put the house music on. We're done. you know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, when we'll go the whole night and finish off the night and do a bunch of encores if people are there and they're into it. But if it's a one drunk guy standing there with his arms closed, generally no. So that was the night. Hey, Michael Bishop, welcome. Elf Hermy, Rick Romanelli, hey man, how are you? I'm just seeing if I missed anybody here. Okay, I think I got everybody. Oh, Metalhead Hippie made a comment. I'm now 55, started playing at 52. When did you start and what got you into music and guitar? Um, I'm like off and on, off and on, off and on, and I was for years. So um, I think really at 12, I wanted my first guitar, and I I couldn't get a guitar. I borrowed a guitar. It was like a friend's acoustic, strings that far off the neck. No lessons, nothing, no support, zero. Typical thing. And then I kind of beat my head into trying to learn how to play, literally watching guys' hands on TV and stuff like that. And then I got enough money together to buy from a summer job when I was probably about 15 to buy an electric guitar. Of course, it was a Gibson copy. It was a Univox. Um, yeah, and then you know that was a year because I couldn't afford an amp and all that. Just self-taught, banging my head against the wall, picking up, giving up, picking up, giving up. That kind of thing. But what got me into playing was I was into I still am kind of a Kiss fan, and just seeing Kiss and a lot of bands that I just loved, like Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin and stuff. But I didn't really get actually. So I said 12, but I didn't really get serious and try to be a decent player until I was in my 20s. So it was that whole time of just barely playing, and then I stopped for a bunch of years because of kids and family and all that. And then I started up again about 5 years ago. So it's been a series of on and off, on and off. Thanks for your question, Metalhead Hippie. Appreciate it, man. Okay. Hey, Braxel's here. Welcome, Braxel. Yeah, Metalhead Hippie says flat pretzel not where I want to be, but I have fun with it. Yeah, man. It's you know what? It's at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. It's enjoyable. Like, it's gonna sound stupid, but I mean, I'm not that much younger than you. I'm 52, and for me, like even last night, you know, just being up on stage, playing my Les Paul, and goddamn, do I love Les Paul guitars. If I mention that I love Les Pauls, there is nothing better in this world than a Les Paul guitar. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. But I'm playing a Les Paul. I'm playing through my Marshall. Actually, I didn't tell Polly what I was using last night. So I was using my Marshall Origin head. I hadn't taken that out yet this year, so I was using that head. My Hughes & Kettner 212 cab with vintage 30s, and then my pedal board, and I was using my 2005 Les Paul Classic. And just hitting that guitar, that tone, the sounds, man. I was getting really nice sound last night, and that's just the best, right? So absolutely love that. Just I love it, man. It's you know, there's nothing better, man, really. So as long as you're having fun with that, or any guitar, whatever your preferred setup is, then more power to you, man. Hey, there's Johnny Beane. How are you, man? Okay, I'm just getting caught up here, folks. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions. Oh, there's Halo on Fire 71. Welcome. Janice Lalon, nice to see you. Rob 212, how's it going, man? We've got 37 people. It really jumped. I'm using my phone, folks. That's why I keep looking down. I have my phone here. I'm outside, so I'm looking at you on the computer, and I'm looking at the phone here. Chris Link, if I haven't said hello, hello. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so if anyone's got any questions, throw them up. Hey, Poo Ninja, yeah, man, thumbs up, please, folks. Folks, if you haven't subbed to my channel, please sub to my channel. I am trying to get to 1,000. As of this morning, I think I'm 770 something. So I'm getting closer. But if I could hit 1,000, ideally before Namm, then I can use this and just stream from there using Google Hangouts. So that would be awesome. Metalhead Hippie, Schecter, Hellraiser, and a Black Star. Okay, cool. Yeah. Hack, have you ever go to a music store and not buy anything? Feel bad? Oh, lots of times. Oh shit, yeah. I mean, Jasco, I'm on it. Jasco, you've been slipping, buddy. Come on. Oh, lots of times. Uh, when I reviewed the was it the new '60s standard Les Paul that came out, it took everything in my being to walk out and leave that thing behind because it was absolutely perfect. Or even the '50s one that I tried, it was oh god, it was absolutely perfect, right? I mean, I'm not saying they're all perfect. I saw some shitty ones too, but it just happened to be that the ones that I picked up that I did the reviews, they were both absolutely perfect guitars. So man, it happens all the time. You know, you know, yeah. Uh, David Oza, Marshall and the box pedals are great through Marshall amps. Get the sound without going deaf or pissing off your neighbors. Well, yeah, David. I had my 50 watt Marshall head is massive overkill for any bar environment. It really is. I think I might have had it at about 3 yesterday. That being said, I was playing it. He was using most of my gain yesterday. I was using a Marshall Governor 2, which is a Marshall pedal. Folks, everybody talks about Marshall in the box. There's a Marshall pedal made by Marshall. The Marshall Governor 2. It's built like a tank. The thing is a weapon. It's got some meat to it, some mass to it. It's cheap, and I mean, I recommend that pedal so much because people are going out spending hundreds of dollars on these Marshall in the box pedal. Here's a pedal made by Marshall, says Marshall right on it, and it's cheap. Buy that one. It's a great pedal, man. It was my main overdrive last night. I actually played that more than my Plimsoll last night, if you can believe that. So, just saying. There's Brian Stewart, Guitar Hack. They tried to make me buy it. They put you in a corner, did they? With some bright lights in your eyes, Brian. Get you to buy the 60s reissue. It took all my not getting beaten to death by my wife's superpower to resist. Yeah. You know what? I misinterpreted I was watching your post on that, Brian. I misinterpreted, and I thought you actually bought the guitar. And I'm like, holy shit! I said, stop, just stop. But I didn't. That's the way I interpreted it. I didn't realize you did not buy it. But that was a sweet looking guitar, man. Yeah, thanks, Metal Hippie. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Awesome. Uh, oh, there you go, Metalhead Hippie. The governor is a pedal I'm looking at. It's cheap, man. Like I'm in Canada, and we get nailed for gear. That thing cost me like $100 here, less than $100. So in the U.S., you guys could probably pick that up for $50. It's just a great pedal for cheap, man. Braxel, how are you? Do you get dents in your frets, and if so, what have you done about it? Um, Dents where the strings are. Yeah, I've had that happen. Um, that's like basically it's cheaper fret wire, right? I had that happen on my Fender. I no longer have it. It was a Strat Plus that I had, and I without exaggerating probably 200 shows with that guitar, and I had dents in the frets. So how do you fix it? You can't. You basically need a fret job, which means they literally pull the frets out and replace them. And I don't know, you can do individual frets, but that's the only way to fix that. Um, I didn't bother with the fret job because I sold the guitar. What surprised the hell out of me is the gentleman I sold it to. I showed it to him. I said, "Look," I said, he goes, "Ah, it's fine." Don't. He didn't care, so I sold it as is. So, Braxel, okay, answer that question. Brian Stewart, they got all the way down. Dude wanted that commission bad. It could be Brian. That guitar had been hanging around for a while, right? They just wanted to get rid of it. I don't know, man. Hey, four heat, dry heat 480. Welcome. I'm a fan of Dean guitars, but would you ever mistake? I'm like, you know what? I'm already on overload with that shit, man. Like the whole, you know, YouTube is great, but when something comes up, you'll hear one person talking about it, two people talk. By the time the third person talks about it, I don't want to hear about it anymore. And I talked about that on my last show, and I said, you're gonna get sick of hearing about this. I'm only gonna talk about this for the beginning of the show, and then it's it. So, yeah, that debate, dry heat 480, that will go on forever and a day and this and that, whatever. But I'm already on overload. It's on all my YouTube feeds. I'm not taking sides. I don't care. all I'm going to say is I like the brand. I don't care what their politics are, what their policies are. I like the brand, and it's unfortunate that they do what they do and people do what they do. But yeah. Hey, Russ Markhart, he's coming back from Gearfest. There you go. Did you meet up with Brian, Russ, Brian? Did you meet up with any of the local YouTubers? Let me know. Rick Romanelli just said it perfectly. I say you should post playing on a Gibson the same amount of time that you talk about the silly topic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like my last show. That's one of the things I was talking about in my last show. Is like I called it the gear debate. It's like, when do we stop talking so much about gear and start talking more about playing and stuff like that, and have people put more videos of playing, and let's help each other with the playing of the instruments. And you know and again, I'm saying this and I'm equally guilty. I'm not saying that I don't do this. I'm as bad or worse than most people, right? But every once in a while, you take your eye off the prize, and the prize is being able to play the instrument, to play it well, and to sound good. To whatever level you want to be at, that is the most important thing. So, you know, if we share our resources and kind of direct it in that towards that, as opposed to, oh, here's another piece of gear, here's another piece of gear. I mean, the gear is great. That's the icing on the cake, but you got to have the cake. That's just my 2 cents. Yeah, Robert Baker. Yeah, I saw that. I meant like some of the maybe the more, when I say local, I mean not the bigger name people. Um, oh, flat frets makes a good point. Yes, unless the dents are really bad. Sorry, yeah, I should have been more clear about that. If the dents are deep, then you have to do a refret. If they're surface dents, then you can literally level them out. Yes. I apologize. I didn't answer that question thoroughly enough. But flat frets just did. Oh, you missed Jay Steen, Brian Stewart. Okay. He was heading out as I was heading in. Cool. Cool. Someone else just popped. Spencer Cron is here. Welcome, Spencer. Got 37 people in here. Dante, aka Old Man Dan, welcome. Oh, I wasn't saying there was hate. I apologize, Dry Heat, if I came off as that. I, you're not trying to open a can of worms. Okay, I apologize. Sorry about that, Dry Heat. Um, I to be honest with you, I'm not going to talk about the issue. I'm just going to talk about Dean guitars. My only exposure to Dean guitars, you don't really see a lot of them around here. So the only one I've ever seen and been around is I was jamming with the guy one time, and he had a Dean with it was a V. You know, it's not my thing. It's not my style. Just the look of it is, it's not my thing. I'm into grandpa guitars, so as they say. So, but so I can't really speak about them, and because I've never tried them and I've never A/B'd them with other models. So, your store is looking great, Hack. Thanks, Rick Romanelli. Yes, I relaunched the Guitar Hack store. I've got the original shirt designs and all that, but I got new shirt designs as well. I got a Blackie shirt, Blackie mugs now. I've got Blackie's my Les Paul guitar, and then another design with me wearing this hat. So, yeah, check it out, folks. If you want to support the channel, much appreciated. I also have a PayPal. I'm trying to raise some money for Namm, because Namm's going to cost me a fortune, and I want to be able to do some decent videos and documentation and stuff there. I mean, we got a whole, I'm going with Jason Wade. Probably most of you know that already, and we kind of have a plan together. We're going to really do our best to try to sort of bring you folks with us, and document the event as much as we can, and just post a whole whack of stuff. Hopefully, we can upload stuff from there. That all depends on how good our wireless connection is back at the hotel room. If not, I'd hate to do it, but I might have to do it all once I get home and edit and stuff. But it's going to be real busy because we're going to be recording and editing and uploading and all that crap. We're going to do the best we can, folks, because I know, like, when I watch Namm stuff, I like to see it while the actual event is going on. So we're going to try to do the best we can to get that stuff to you. So yeah, so want to support the channel and help us in our efforts, that would be much appreciated. Um, oh, you tried to hook up, but your timing was off. Okay, Brent Stewart. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people in the area. That would have been a nice kind of a YouTuber get together at Gear Fest. Yeah, Brian Stewart, I know exactly. Yeah, the live streams were choppy. Yeah, I don't know if I'm even going to try to do live streaming from there because again, I'm gonna have to use Streamlabs, and Streamlabs is always a monumental pain in the ass. Yeah, and if I had the 1,000 and I could do the regular Google, I would probably try, but I don't think I'll be trying it with the Streamlabs. Plus, you're going to be in there sharing a wireless connection with a million other people. So, yeah. El Fermi, Guitar Hack, have you ever painted a guitar yourself? If so, how'd it go? I'd love to do that, but then I remember my elementary school days, bills painting my Huffy bike. And Al Fermi, no, I've never tried that. That would be, I don't know. I mean, I painted stuff before. I painted wood before. I painted wooden doors and things like that. I mean, wood is wood, right? Um, but on a guitar, you know, I don't know. I would. It's like anything else, it's a learning curve. If you have like a beat up shitty guitar that you don't mind screwing up, maybe try that first, and then if that goes well. But I mean, I wouldn't, at a first go, I'd be real hesitant about doing it to a guitar that you really like. So I can't speak on that. I have never tried it. Yeah, NAM Wi-Fi will be slammed. Exactly. Craig Reckless is here. Welcome. Okay, there's 35 of you in here. Hey, there's R2R3, man. I didn't catch you. I apologize. Hey, R2R3, how are you, man? I hope I caught everybody in the stream. If I haven't caught you, please tag my name, and I will see you right away. And if anyone's got any questions, please tag me. I can see it. So yeah, getting back to the gig. So that was it. I don't know what else to tell you, folks. End of the night, the owners were gracious enough to cover our bar tab, right? So and this place, the reason they do that, honestly, is we make a little less money at this place. Like, let's put it this way: if this was a new bar, we wouldn't play it for the money that they gave us last night. Okay, because it's not worth it. Honestly, it's not worth it to drag your gear and all that stuff for the money that they're paying, right? But the only reason we'll do it for them is because they were the first bar to make us regulars. Okay, like we would when we were first starting out, and, we couldn't get arrested. Um, that was the first bar to kind of take us under the wing and give us like 3 or 4 shows a year, right? So that was like our first regular one. So, we kind of owe them in that regard. So when we go and we play there, we'll generally play for a little less money, and then to reciprocate that, they'll usually cover our food and our drinks, right? So at the end of the day, you're still back up to what you would have made, kind of. But normally we wouldn't play for that amount of money, right? So, but yeah, that was it. So at the end of the night, it was kind of we were playing to basically the guys playing pool in the back, and that was basically it. So, but it was good. It was good to get that show under our belts because, like I said, we hadn't played in about 3 weeks. We hadn't gotten together in 3 weeks, so that was almost like a rehearsal, and it went surprisingly well. I was pretty surprised. And again, it was good because we've got another 3 shows. I'm basically playing every weekend until I leave for Namm. So next week I got 2 shows, and then the week after I have a show, and then I'm off to Namm. So that was good. It was good that we did that show yesterday. El Fermi Hack, did you have any whoops moments at the gig from not being able to rehearse with it? Yeah, you know what, El Fermi, you get brain farts. That's what I call them. It's like, you're playing, and it's happened to me a couple of times. It's like, holy shit! All of a sudden, you just blank out on the chord progression. Even though you play that song like 100 times, you just blank out on a chord progression. Um, or sometimes well, it didn't happen last night. Surprisingly, the most complicated stuff for me is all the guitar solos because I'll play like 30 solos a night. Thereabouts. Those all click. I had the feel, the timing. Actually, I thought I did pretty well last night. It was one of my better nights. But this easy stuff, which is the chord progressions, that's the stuff I was blanking on. But that's the one advantage I will say of having 2 guitar players, because unless we both blank at the same moment, there will still be a guitar in the mix, right? So, but that's about it. Yeah, pretty much that was it. Thanks for the question, buddy. Um, okay, Rick Romanelli, you're talking about battling with pedals. Yeah, that's the other thing too that I found yesterday, which was really weird. Like I've been using the using Kettner head for all the gigs so far this year, and I used the Marshall last night, and all of a sudden, and I played a guitar that I hadn't played yet this year, and as soon as you do that, the relationship with your pedal board to your guitar and everything, you change one part of that equation, and then everything changes. So I was doing a lot of tweaking on the fly yesterday because we didn't really get a sound check because we were having those PA issues I mentioned earlier. So was a lot of fly on my part. So, increasing, the little treble here, level there. I'm editing myself in real time. So I'll be playing a song, drop down, move something, get back up, and all that. Because the way the pedals were reacting to that guitar and that head were different. Had I had well, if I was using Blackie and say using Kettner head, I wouldn't have had to touch those pedals all night. I set it and forget it. But last night I was really tweaking them a lot. So yeah, that changes the whole dynamic. If you get something new in the mix there. Um, okay, looks like we've got a few new people popped up. Ben Henry, welcome. How are you, man? Uh, Gary Tholander. I used to blank out on the Detroit Rock City dual guitar solo, and I played at least 100 times. I think it's psychological. Yeah, yeah. There's certain solos, there's certain bits of songs. It's like, why is this so damn hard? You know, and then you're playing other stuff that's way more complicated, and you're doing it flawlessly. It's weird. It's like yeah, there's no, I don't know, no rhyme or reason to it. We got 32 people in here. You guys rock. Thank you so much for checking in to the after gig hangout. I'll be doing more of these because again, I got gigs next week, week after, and this laptop outside thing seems to be working okay now that the weather is decent. Metalhead Hippie. I haven't played the Jackhammer. I haven't played the Jackhammer, man. I couldn't tell you anything about the Jackhammer. Um, but I'll swear up and down on that Marshall Governor too. I think somebody else bought one based on, I think it was Marsman got one. Uh, and yeah, man, I'll take that pedal anytime. I've taken it off my board, and it's so good that I went and put it back on the board. It's just like, it's not a high gain pedal. Like if you're gonna play metal, no. But if you're gonna play, like, if you want that nice bitey classic rock tone, you're gonna do like an AC/DC. You're gonna do like heavy crunch. That pedal is amazing, and it's built like a tank. Like I said earlier, it's built like a tank, and it's good quality, man. Like the buttons, it's all solid. It's super solid. Hey, there's Mike Brody. How are you? Thank you, David Ozab. Yeah, man. Thumbs up, folks. Please thumb up the video. If you're not subbed to my channel, please sub to my channel. Help me get to 1,000 subs. There's Cheddar. Why would anyone play anything other than AC/DC? This is very true. As a public service announcement, we should only be playing AC/DC. Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I'll give you some. I used that pedal for Kiss. I was playing last night. I used it for the Knack, My Sharona. I used that pedal for Jesse's Girl. I used that pedal. I mean, I could go on and on. Those are all the songs I was using that pedal for. You may be right, Billy Joel. I was using that pedal. Uh, shit, you know, I could go on and on. Okay. I've not played the Rev 3 or 4 Metalhead Hippie. You know, again, they're not around here. So one of the big things that I'm looking forward to is trying a whole bunch of gear that I don't get exposed to here in my local stores. You know, like what I get exposed to here are the big names, right? Like Gibsons, Fenders, Ampwise, Mezzes, Marshalls, Fenders. You know, those are the big ones. Those are, you know, that's what I see. That's what I'm around. But Rev, no. Well, actually, Friedman, I have been exposed to some Friedman guitars and amps, but Milkman, you know, there's one store that has some of that boutique stuff, but most of those smaller brands, you know, I don't get my hands on, and that's really one of the big things is I'm looking forward to trying out some of those things. If not at Namm, we're going to do some guitar store, um, you know, hopping. Thank you, and Queen's filling in for my lack of language. And I'll hopefully come across some of those things there. So sorry, man, but I can't help you. Yes, the K word. I did rock and roll all night. Played rock and roll all night. Used the Marshall Governor 2 pedal, and then for the lead, I hit the tube screamer. Sounded awesome. Yeah, so Brian Stewart, you must have had your hands on a lot of gear that you probably wouldn't see, right, in your local shops. Yeah, like you're mentioning, you tried some Friedmans. Not everybody carries these things, you know. No, the birds in the background are not white. They're not Sylvester. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with. Well, I know what's going on with Glenn. He's sleeping. You ever sneak in a famous lick from one song into a different song you play for comedic effect? Um, actually, yes. Um, I guess if you want to call it a jokey solo, or maybe just who gives a shit solo. For me, it's Mustang Sally, which I'm forced to play, and I played it last night. Yes, I did. Um, I'll play a solo that's just completely out in left field, and yeah, I'll play licks from other songs in there. Like what, it's whatever hits me, you know. So what did I do yesterday? Yesterday, there's this Motley Crue lick that I do that's really bizarre sounding, where it's like it's one fret, one note per string. How would I put? So you would play like, say for example, you would play like on the E string, you play the fifth fret, and then you would play another note directly behind that. On the A string, you play the sixth fret, and then below that on the D string, you play the seventh fret. So you go do 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 do. Like it's a weird sounding thing. That's from some Motley Crue song that I can't remember. I'll throw that in there. I basically throw in a bunch of shit, you know, crazy stuff. atonal stuff, whatever, right? Because it's like I'll end it with like a blues thing to bring it back, but it's just because I can't stand the song and I just want to entertain myself. So I do all this wacky shit and then I bring it back at the end. So, Danny James Severin, welcome, buddy. How are you, man? Fabulous Disaster, nice to see you. All right, we got 32 people in here. How long have I been going? Okay, I'll go for another 10 minutes or so since we got 32 you still in here. I don't want to. I know that at 3 o'clock, EVH and Gear TV has a show coming on, so I don't want to take up any of his time. Mickey Settlemeyer, welcome. Yeah, if I haven't caught any, if I've missed you, folks in the chat, please tag me at Guitar Half. Yeah, and if anyone's got any questions, please tag me at Guitar Half. So, pretty much that's all the goings on that happened last night. Um, hey, there's Dale Palmer. How are you, man? So, yeah, so folks, we got. I always make the speech at some point. Got a great community here. Please let's all support each other. If you have content on your channels, let people know so we can all, support each other, grow your channels, grow the community, make it nice and big. Thanks to you folks, I'm over 770 now, and that's all due to you and your support. You guys absolutely rock. Yeah, man, let's just keep it growing. Let's keep it bang. Let's keep it positive. El Fermi, what song do you play now that seems to be the biggest crowd pleaser? Also any TV theme songs? We don't do any TV theme songs. The crowd pleasers, there's a few of them. 500 Miles by the Proclaimers seems to do well. It always does well. Sweet Caroline always does well. Unfortunately, Mustang Sally always does well. Brown Eyed Girl, all the songs that I hate pretty much do well. As far as rock tune, Highway to Hell always does well. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, Jenny went over well yesterday, and so did Jesse's Girl. So there's a few. 31 watching and 31 thumbs. That's awesome. Thanks for letting me know that, Brian. All right, Cheddar, take care. Have a great rest of your Sunday and a great week, man. Take it easy. Punk. Oh, speaking of punk version, yeah, it's a good idea. Do a punk version of 500 Miles. We do a punk version of Country Roads. That kicked ass last night. People love that. Country Roads is, John Denver's song, but we punk it up. PJ and the Beard finally caught a chat live. Hey guys, I don't know if that's PJ or the Beard or both. Welcome. Yeah, it's when you can take an old song or bring it, modernize it, or change it or something where it takes people a minute. It's funny when we play it, everybody kind of like, okay, they know it, but they don't know it. But then as soon as the lyrics kick in, and the chorus especially, then everybody's like, oh, they know that song, right? That's cool. That's cool when you kind of see that happen, right? When you're playing it for the first time, you see the whole process happen. Plus, it's super easy. I'm just hitting power chords the whole time, so yeah, it's a fun song to play, and it's an easy song to play. Yeah. Okay, Gary Tholinger, we used to do a metal version of Ring of Fire. Wow, that would have been cool. Yeah, we used to do a punk version of Ring of Fire, so I can imagine what a metal one would sound like. That's awesome, man. Yeah, when you take those old songs and change them up, it's always cool. Always cool. All right. Addicted to Love, Robert Palmer. Yeah, I don't do that one. I don't do that. Don't do it. Okay, so a couple things, folks. check out this show next week. There will definitely be a Thursday show next week at 8 p.m. Tuesday show right now is up in the air for next week. I don't know what's going to happen with the Tuesday show, but I will have a Thursday show for sure. Thursday shows are always going to happen. My solo shows are always going to happen because they're easy. It's just my mug. The Tuesday show is up in the air right now, so but you'll see it if it comes up. So check that out. Check out the Thursday show. Yeah, folks, if please thumbs up the video. If you haven't subbed to my channel, please sub to my channel. I got links below for Guitar Hack merch, so check that stuff out. We got new designs, new T-shirts, new mugs, and so on. Check that out. If you want to support the channel, also I got a GoFundMe, not a GoFundMe, sorry, a PayPal for Namm to raise money for Namm and help me out with Namm and get some gear and shooting some decent videos and so on and so forth. And that's about it. I want to thank you folks for checking out the After Gig Hangout. You guys absolutely rock. And yeah, man, it's been on for shit like an hour and something. So you guys absolutely rock. Thank you all so much. Let's stay positive, folks. Keep playing the guitars. Play more guitar, less gear. More guitar, less gear. And have a great rest of your weekend and have a great weekend. We'll catch you later. Cheers, everybody.